Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Tequila Talks. And I have a very special guest with me today. Um, it's somebody that helped me in the last, 3 years, kind of transform my health, my fitness. He is my maestro, my coach, Histro. Welcome to Tequila Talks. Thank you for spending some time with us on your very busy day. I know you're transforming lives out there to all your community, all your members, but thank you again for joining me and taking some time to have a nice conversation and get to know you.
Yeah, absolutely. I am very excited about it. I think this is the first tequila talk I'm doing with you, George.
Yes, the
But
first of
it's
many.
always good to connect with you more and more and more beyond the training as well.
No, absolutely. No, I appreciate it. Thank you. I know we're in December. You know what? A lot of people are trying to figure out their New Year's resolution. And one of the biggest ones is always is I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to gain some muscle. I'm going to get fit. I'm going to get healthy. So I kind of want to hit on that subject on this conversation, but first I want our audience get to know you. Not a lot of people know coach. They don't know maestro. So what inspired you to become a coach, a trainer, and what keeps you passionate about it still to today? So let us know how long you've been in this industry.
Yeah. Well, I've been in the industry since 2007, maybe close to 18 years right now. Um, it's been definitely a journey. And what inspired me to become a coach, I wish I could say that is something really unique and extraordinary, a path that nobody walked. And it's very, very different, but it's not. Actually, I got fired. And a little bit after that, I had to find a different way to direct myself and the path. Well, originally, I was pursuing soccer career back in the day. And when I realized that it wasn't going to be it was absolutely my first love and first passion for sure. And it's still dear to my heart. But now I have other passions. And once I realized that it wasn't going to be that, then I started going other directions. But then I had a couple other jobs. In fact, maybe four of them here in the United States, that is, not back in Europe, in Bulgaria. And yeah, I've been let go pretty much with every job that I've been having in the United States. And then soon I realized that, boy, I'm not going to be serving a boss or I won't be working for anybody. And then one day I was working out at the gym and then I saw trainers are guiding and talking to clients. It kind of intrigued me. And then I went up to them and I asked them about that a little bit and what would be a good certificate to start with. And they directed me to one. And then I went after that, and that was, you can possibly say that was kind of the beginning. And yeah, the 6 to 12 months later, after actually, and the reason I'm saying those things is because I want people to know that you can do anything you want to do if you really have your heart in the right place and the mind in the right place.
Amen.
As I mentioned, I've been let go from every job and position I've had in the United States. I didn't speak any English up until I was 20. Well, at 20, I didn't speak any English and then started gradually improving. But then, even for my personal training certificates, I couldn't pass the test a couple of times, not once. I think it was twice. So, if anyone is not qualified to be where I am, that will be me. But here I am, that I'm still here standing and making my dreams in life come true. So if anyone is going through challenging times, they don't believe things can happen to them, it can absolutely can. And I've lived that myself. So, but that was the beginning of my path in health, fitness, wellness, longevity, all these areas.
Here, let me ask you this before anything. What position did you play in soccer?
Midfield, I like to say the most expensive position, forward and midfield. So um, I I would still say I'm still good. I'm a little rusty because I haven't played in a while. I don't know if you knew I tore my meniscus, but uh, I can place the ball very nice left and right. I can connect the different players. And definitely I have a very good um, kick so I can score well. So these are the
Oh,
positions that usually I used to play to.
there you go. Did Stoichkov take your position? That's why, that's why the soccer career
It's
came to an
funny
end, or
that
what?
I practiced with him. There was one day, I mean, if we can go there, I used to play with a Serbian team. It's called United Serbs, somewhere east, north, close to the city on 41. I think it's not a Gurney. I forgot the name of it, but it's a nice indoor place. So we're practicing once or twice a week indoors. So I walk inside and we're kind of getting ready to start the practice, and everybody's turning towards me and they're just looking at me, and I can see, 7, 8 people are staring at me, and I was like, why are they looking at me? And they say, yeah, he's here. I was like, wow, okay. And then I turn around, and I see Hristo Stoichkov is behind me. He's walking in too. So it was funny that we practiced on the same team with him a
Awesome.
couple of times for fun like that. So that was a nice, fun thing to do.
No, I mean, I like that, obviously before you hurt yourself, you still, even though soccer didn't become a career, it's still a passion that you like to play for fun, so that's awesome. And also, your journey, you didn't let closed doors stop you. You didn't let all these opportunities and, getting fired or let go of certain positions, that redirected you to which is your passion now. You kind of, my next question was there a defining moment in your life when health and fitness became a priority? And you said you were at the gym and you kind of were observing trainers trained, and that kind of intrigued you to find out a little bit more about it?
Yeah, I think that probably is one of them. I would not say that moment is a very strong, defining moment, but I can definitely see that speaking to that trainer at the gym, asking them about it, and they guided me to specific certificates. That's one moment. I say that is never really a one moment that defines everything. It's all like series of moments that takes you from where you are to where you want to be. I mean, even me not not living my dream to be a professional soccer player, that's a big moment that directs me somewhere else, right? Even then letting me go of the positions and the jobs I had, these are big moments, because had they not done that, probably I would have been more comfortable staying where I was, So it's a series of small things. Um, so I don't think there's anything strong. Sometimes people probably like to hear maybe a major event happen in life. Maybe you got sick, or you had an accident driving a car, or whatever happened. It wasn't anything like that. It was small series of things that take me to the next step, to the next step, to the next step. And then I say, you know what? Let me take that path of becoming a personal trainer. And that led me to another direction that I wasn't really planning on, and that direction is really open in the health and fitness world. And then now I'm in the field. Slowly, gradually, I started expanding in that area, which led to a whole new world right there in itself. So, but you could say that could be a small defining moment that they guided me with the certificate.
Absolutely, no. And before I start asking a lot of fitness questions and whatnot, let's talk about higher level fitness. Let's talk about your baby out there in St. Charles, where I train. Can you tell us exactly what you offer, what you do, what kind of classes you have, so our audience have a little bit more knowledge of what you do.
Yeah, essentially, primarily we work with adults, and here and there, the adults are inviting their kids because they see it's possible for them to improve as well. But we're involved in several pillars. It's a functional strength training, which essentially could mean that movement with extra resistance with weights that helps the human being have an easier, more successful life outside of the gym, whether they play tennis or they hike and they climb stairs and they run and maybe they do marathon running or whatever types of recreational fun activities they do, or maybe they want to be stronger, leaner, they want to have more energy, they want to love who they see in the mirror, they want to set a better structure for a better success in any of those goals. So we help them with the functional strength training. We do have another offering that is what we call lifestyle mastery, which is involving nutrition programming, nutrition customization. We help people shift identity in the mindset, because ultimately that's really what's going to cause someone to have a more permanent change for the better. So it's not just following foods, although we do that too because we provide the structure. But unless someone shifts their identity to become that person and not just to follow any type of diet, it just won't work. So it has to be, you know, a shift in right here
Yes.
for them to, because I like to tell clients is it's not about, they don't come here to learn how to eat, or they don't come here to follow specific diets or training. They come here to become the person that they want to be that are not right now, that will allow them to live that goal that they have daily, as opposed to for a couple of months and go back to there used to be. So once you shift identity, it becomes much more permanent experience, which I think a lot of people want. Some people don't realize, they haven't thought about it, they want it because it's all in the mind. I want to lose weight. I want to get stronger. I want to be, I don't want to get out of breath. I like to have more energy. I'm stiff. I'm lethargic. So they think about the immediate thing, which is actually not the cause. It's the result of the whole thing. I'm in pain, or I don't like who I see in the mirror. I like to trim down. So they focus on, how do I trim down? And then, of course, by giving them few things to follow, they trim down, but they never ask themselves, who do I become so I never need to trim down anymore? What kind of person do I have to become for this to happen, permanent experience? Or who do I need to let go of to become that? What do I need to let go of? Who do I need to stop becoming? Because right now we have formed ourselves to be a specific human beings, and the external experience is based on that, who we are from inside, how we think, what the habits are, what kind of attitudes we have towards life. So when these shift, then it's easy.
No, for
So,
sure.
and that's really at the base of everything.
What's one misconception about a personal trainer?
One misconception of a personal trainer, I will actually give you two. One is in the positive way, the other one is a little more in a not so positive. The not so positive is, people think that if they hire a personal trainer, the personal trainer will help them with weight loss and fat loss. And that's generally not the case. Personal trainer, generally speaking, helps you with put together exercises. Okay. I don't consider myself to be a personal trainer only. It's a lot more than that. I've realized that if I'm only a personal trainer, I would fail my clients, because by definition, personal training is just, you help an individual with exercises for them to live the results and their goals. It requires a lot more than just putting somebody through a workout. Just to believe that the personal trainer will help you lose weight, first I would suggest, make sure you speak with that trainer. Do they have the qualifications? Do they have the certifications? Do they have the track record of helping tons of people with your goal, before really you subscribe to the belief that the personal trainer will help you lose weight? So that's the one. Now, on the other side, a misconception is this is possibly one of the most powerful jobs and positions you can ever have as a career, because strength training and cardiovascular training have been found to be the absolutely number top two things you can ever do to live long, disease-free, functional, strong, healthy, vibrant life. Period. No other thing can come even close. So beyond doctors, so of course we all need to work together. But this is what, when you get engaged in a structured, progressive, purposeful strength training program, then what happens inside of the body is absolutely miraculous. No pill can ever really give you what that can give you. So to think that it's a misconception that a personal trainer, well, usually the trainers, they should get paid a lot more than they do, because it is possibly the most important thing someone can ever do for their health. Of course, we got to talk about other things like sleep and nutrition and stress management and supplementation and mindset. But if you can focus on structured, and I really want to emphasize structured, progressive, which is big key, progressive, purposeful, not only putting workouts together, cycles of training. Okay, so that's why we never really work on, like, can I buy one session? That never works. You need to do serious, blocks of trainings to see adaptation in health, physiology, biochemistry, and brain work, and all kinds of type of adaptations you need. It takes some time. So somebody to use a session or two will absolutely never help them. They're gonna actually get the wrong impression if they want to, let me try a couple of workouts. Well, you're missing the whole. It's like, it's not, you will be doing exercises that you probably have seen on YouTube. You'll be doing exercises here that you've seen in another gym, but it's the recipe, how we put them together, how long, how they work together is really where the magic is. It's like being a chef. Separately, you have broccoli, paprika, you have peppers, you have the butter, you have the cheese, you have the whipped cream, whatever. All those by themselves are really the ingredients. If they pick just the paprika and try it, that's not even a third of the recipe, nothing, right? But it's how you put all those ingredients together in a system as a recipe that really make the magic. So knowing how to structure cycles of training is possibly the most important thing for the human body. So it's 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 very, very powerful. So that's a misconception that people don't really know. Even trainers sometimes don't realize that their profession is possibly the most important profession one can ever do to stay healthy, lean, disease-free, if applied properly and consistently over time.
Got it. No, thank you for sharing. It's that time of year again, where people are talking about new year, new me, New Year's resolutions. Why do you think so many resolutions fail?
Why do I think so many resolutions fail? Well, there could be many reasons I can think of, George, but one probably the number one reason I can come up immediately is they don't know the deep why. Okay? They need to discover a deep, powerful why they're getting on that journey, right? And losing weight is not the deepest why. There's a much deeper reason than losing weight, because people want to lose weight because that's a very common thing, right? That's why I'm starting with that. People want to lose weight because what? Because weight loss will give them something else. And what would that be? That's something personal they have to discover for themselves. But on the surface, I just want to lose weight. Whereas I suggest for them to go a little under the hood and discover, why do they want that? How is their life going to change for the better? Another question will be, what would happen if you don't lose the weight? So would you be okay? Would you not be okay? And what is that going to give you? And whatever that's going to give you, how is that going to help with your life? So kind of peeling the layers, go a little deeper into the why. That's one big reason why I feel most people are not succeeding. Another one is even if they discover the why, although that could be very, very powerful, often lacking support, sustainability, having an environment that is very suitable for success. Often people start on their own. Often people start, yeah, they go to a health club, but even there, most health clubs, I certainly don't want to put them down, but they don't have the environment for that. So you need to have that someone next to you that can support you and be on that journey as well, get to know you and guide you and create an environment that is optimal for sustainability. Not like, okay, I'm going to get on a health kick again for a few weeks. You know, it is so shallow. It's so easy to tell that it's going to fail very, very soon. So yeah, the second one I would say would be having support, accountability, and the right type of environment.
Find your why. That's the biggest thing. I mean, that's in anything, not only in weight loss or, trying to, get on a fitter journey or be fit, but it could be in business. It could be in anything. Find your why.
Absolutely.
That's the
That could
biggest
be
thing.
anything.
No, I like that answer. So, thank you for sharing that. How can someone set fitness goals that actually stick beyond the first month?
Yeah. So generally speaking, I know that we're asking those questions, and some of them are when we say health. I usually like to fire few questions back before I can answer that question, because when I say what does health mean, how can someone stick? Well, I like to get to know the person first, because it's all about, I try to avoid talking about averageness, like on average. On average, what does that look like? Well, average never exists. Average never exists. If we talk about every single individual human being, you, George, you have specific type of individuality that makes you tick, inspires you, motivates you. You have specific fears in life, specific things that you value in life, specific beliefs that are absolutely 100% unique from the person next to you. So it needs to be based on the individual, right? If we want to make this as dialed in and as successful and as lasting as possible. That being said, how can we make it stick? And again, it boils down to find the deepest why. People don't have a deeper why. They know they want to, maybe they're tight and stiff. They got motivated by either their parents or somebody in the vicinity takes medications, or maybe they got sick. So they know what, I don't want to be that. So I want to go that direction. They got afraid, or they got scared about something, or maybe they don't feel comfortable. Now Thanksgiving Day, Christmas, and New Year's, and now everybody's eating and drinking, and now it becomes even worse. And now they're sick of it. You know what? I'm done. I feel so uncomfortable. Now they jump into health thing, right? Without really having a proper preparation. There's a specific type of a formula for change, to change for the better, in psychology, and there's several phases in that. One phase, the first phase, generally they say it is pre-contemplation, which means the person is not even thinking about change, right? So I may be a little overweight. I may be taking medications for high blood pressure. And my blood sugar, A1C is kind of high, but I get by, no problem. They don't even think about that. It's just they absorb with life, busy with kids and spouses and career, trying to make ends meet. And they don't even think about it because the pain is not big enough, generally speaking. So pre-contemplation is phase one. But phase two, or stage two, you can call it, it's contemplation. Now the pain becomes so severe that there's like, wow, I don't like how I feel. I want to change. I see those people are improving, and I like that. I want some of that. Until we get to that point, there won't be any type of change because people don't even think about it. But contemplation means I'm starting to contemplate about it. I'm starting to think, it will be nice. I think it's a good thing to do it. And then the next stage would be preparation. Now I'm making decision to start entering the world of health, fitness, and stuff like that, right? So now it is preparation, planning. I'm planning now, becoming more and more active, right? More and more committed. And as you know, what that means is you look up, you make phone calls, you search for gyms, search for health coaches, and you start doing your research. That's really what that phase or stage is. And then it's the action. Now you're active in it. Now you're working out, you're eating well, you're drinking more water, you're taking time for more sleep, more time for you. Now you're fully taking action in it. That's like stages in a positive change. And then that actually stage is the most important one. It's the messiest one. And that's where people give up the most. The easiest thing is to start thinking about it and start something, right? Everybody's a starter nowadays. I'll start this. But when you take a look, soon after that, they drop off like birds. They fall off. Like you talk about the New Year's. It's easy to start on New Year's, but how long do you last? Okay. So the action stage, it could be the most important stage of all because you see results, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you see, sometimes you don't. Maybe 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step to the side, 1 step forward. So little by little, it's like this. It's messy. And then of course, if the mindset is not there, it's very easy to quit. That's where the quitting happens the most. It's the most frequent stage for people to quit. But that's the action stage. And then the next one would be a maintenance. They call it a maintenance, but I don't like maintenance because you never maintain. The goal is to never maintain because you either improve or you go backwards. We never stay on one spot. So if you reach your weight loss goal, perfect. I would say to continue. It's been said, if you really want to stop being depressed and really become happier, start doing something and seeing progress, a little bit progress. If you can see progress here, even if it's 1%, it's by far the most important thing that will keep you inspired, motivated, and feeling like you're on purpose. So I never want to tell people to maintain. I'd like, okay, you met that weight loss goal. Now, let's set another meaningful, powerful goal for you. What would that be? There's so many that you can. The goal is it's the path, it's the journey. We say the destination is the journey. There is no destination that you get there and you're done. That just never exists unless you're dead. Imagine you reach a goal, whatever goal that is, and you say, I'm done, I don't need to do anything else. No, we were born to improve. We were born to ask for a little more. So I don't like the wording maintenance. I like for us to continue to set another goal, and constantly evolve in the area, in this case of health, fitness, longevity. But there's another stage of that formula, and which is people kind of backtrack right there. So they relapse. There's a relapse a little bit. This is a normal thing. And that's the difference between just a trainer and a transformational coach, where we educate clients to know it's normal to have a relapse. That's a normal human thing. It's nothing abnormal about it. Every single person that has ever been born has experienced that. So, but a lot of people don't know how to think, and the people around them possibly are not aware of that, so they cannot guide them to think, hey, it's okay for you to have a relapse. Dust yourself off, regroup, let's go back at it,
Yeah.
right? So, but the long story, the long answer short, what's going to keep people longer and why people fail is they don't have the why, they don't have the right support. It's not about workouts, it's not about having a diet. You can find those anywhere nowadays with AI, YouTube, and you can find a diet. But often people need leadership. Okay, they have a hard time with leadership. They don't know how to think. They're absorbed in life in so many ways. Having that support system next to you, they can just go with you, push you through moments that the coach has been there. The coach has coached other people at that place. It's going to make the process much easier. So not having the right leadership, not having the why, not having the support, not having the environment are big keys why people fail when they enter after New Year's, that famous New Year resolution.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're right. I had a lot of questions for you, but I think you answered one, two of them. So far in the conversation, in different ways. But how good is your memory? Do you remember my why when we met 3 years ago?
Holy moly, you put me on the spot.
Because I don't remember my why not.
Wow.
I need
Well,
to create a new why, actually, to be
that's
honest with you.
okay. Well, here's another powerful thing I like to say. If nothing else, I feel so comfortable supporting people and when they beat themselves up. For example, I actually don't remember your why from 3 years ago. Uh, and probably the previous me would feel a little guilty. The previous me would feel not good about myself because I don't know your why right now, right? But the key is to realize, listen, I'm a human being before anything else. There is no perfection here. I'm not a robot. You know, I'm not a computer where you store everything and come up. I mean, to a certain extent, we are like computers inside, but it's so challenging because we were not born with the manual. We have to learn it, and over time, the brains don't function this well because of lifestyle or age. Whatever the reason is, I've learned to not beat myself up at all for anything. It's a real example right now. So I don't remember. And the step number one for me is to be kind to myself and say, you know what? I don't remember it, but I'd like to be reminded of that. But now you told me that you don't know it either. So now we can take a look at the binder. I think you still have it in the binder over there. So,
No,
because we wrote it down, we do go through the exercises, but keep going. Tell me, can you remind us or no?
trying to think if there was more, because of the business, better in clothes, longevity. When I'm blessed with kids, run after them, especially now that I'm older. I'd have to go back to the binder and just confirm, but I think those were some of my whys back then. But I think time changes, and I have to create a new why, for
Yes,
2026.
yes,
I
yes.
think it's time for a new why, new motivation, new goals, like you said. For 2026, we got a little less than a month left for 25. Got to take all your wins and losses and lessons for this year and put together a new why for 2026, and we'll go over it. We'll have a meeting in your gym and go over that to see how you can help me achieve those goals, my new why. So it's something that I'm gonna have to spend some time in really really figuring it out as I'm getting older in age, just trying to see what my why is for 2026. So stay tuned. But I do have a couple more questions for you. I want to, in regards to success stories, have you noticed personality traits amongst your most successful clients?
Absolutely. All the time. All the time. Now, what I have also noticed is it's never really 100% guaranteed because initially I've noticed a lot of people start really, really well and then they can fall off at some point. for various reasons. It's not a mystery, but some people start slower, and over time they continue to flourish and compounds their successes. And the reason why those things are happening, still what's going on behind the scenes, if somebody starts slower, then the more they, maybe it was that time of their life that they could not really go all in. They started slow because they had many other things around their, you know, daily routines in life that they couldn't really dedicate more time and space for it. But as things change in life, then they're able to do more and more and more. That's one reason. But another reason could be that they weren't able to see things right initially. And the more they're in the right environment, they're able to see more and more and more. So there's reasons for that. But to answer, have I noticed people with different traits and the way they behave that it's easy to tell they're gonna succeed? Yes. One way that is very, very certain that I go, that person really, if they continue to think like that, they will succeed. Them being interested, asking questions. I can think of, clients right now that do that, and some of them are going so way out there with so many questions. But I was like, deep inside of me, I love that because I know where this is taking them. That tells me they're eager. That tells me where their mindset is. That tells me where their heart set, where their head is. If someone doesn't ask a question, it doesn't automatically make them that they're not gonna really succeed, because depending on what's going on in their head. But asking questions, how is this? How is that? How do I do this? What if I do this? This tells me this person is engaged. And being engaged tells me really you are moving forward.
How
You're
serious you are.
curious. You want to get better. It's all based on, I can see it. It's not about really me. If I can see the person doing that, it's easy to tell. That person wants to get better. They're initiating, like initiation. That's huge. Them picking up the phone, them raising their hand, not me telling them, but they initiate it, like self-initiative. These two words, if you apply them anywhere in life, you're going to be extremely successful. If you don't wait for others to tell you, but you go after it yourself first. Whether you ask a question, you think, okay, I don't know the answer, but if I don't really take action, if I don't engage, I know it's not going to happen. They do realize that. So I may not be capable right now. I may not be competent, but I have eager in me. I'm curious. I want to get better. What do I need to do to get there? Just tell me, guide me. Now that is extremely powerful. And if I see that in somebody, I already know they're going somewhere.
Absolutely. No, thank you. I'm going to have to definitely bring you back again because we're almost running out of time, and I have more questions to ask you, but we'll bring you back for episode 2. But we only have a few minutes left, but I want to ask you this. If everyone listening right now, if you can commit to just one one healthy habit in 2026, what would it be for you to be successful in your fitness journey?
Despite of adversity and so-called failing, you never give up. Keep pushing forward. That's it. It's something that we've heard before. But if you really think about what that really means, the only time we fail is when we give up. But despite of having challenging moments, if you can have the inner knowing that those challenging moments are actually there to create you, to redefine you, and they're necessary part of your evolution, if you can adapt this type of a mindset and create as part of your permanent type of thinking, that could solve majority of it.
Amen. Thank you. No, thank you for sharing. One quick question: you don't drink alcohol, right? Or once in a while, occasionally, or you're sober like me?
I don't. Yeah, correct.
You don't drink. Okay. So a couple of the questions were, tequila based, but let's end with this before, I ask you this final question. What is your go-to drink when you're trying to stay healthy? What do you, other than water, what is your go-to drink?
Don't be mad at me. Water with lemon.
No, that's what I said. Other than water, or is
Well,
that
it's not
only
only
thing?
water. It's not only water. Every other drink has water too. So whatever I say, there'll be water. So I say water with lemon. It's not only water. But
So you just add lemon.
if I have to play the game, there's no other drink.
I gotta
I
give you
mean,
Topo Chico so you can try that out.
once in a while, I would say kombucha, but I really never buy them. I would only drink it if it's there. And the last time I drank it was probably a year ago. So if I go to a restaurant, I'm going to bring this with me. And by the way, that's not champagne or wine. It's water. Okay. Um, it's the water I fill up from our filter here everywhere I go. I take this, as you can see me at the gym, at home. If I go to a restaurant, it's always with me. So what else would I drink? I mean, I would have a smoothie here and there. If you and I are in Tulum and sit on the beach bed, I'll definitely order a smoothie from fresh fruits. Absolutely. I will have chips and guacamole for sure. Mexican chips is no one can beat it, especially the original one. I would have that. But as far as the drink, usually it's only water with,
Got it.
yeah.
And did you get something, a little something I got you in the mail? Did you get it?
Of course I have right here. Look at that. I appreciate that, mister. Let me
So
open
I
that up.
like to end the shows with doing a virtual shot. As a lot of people know,
There it
my
is.
journey. I mean, I don't know if you are gonna take it or not, but I do the alcohol-free tequila. For the show purposes. I don't drink this at
Let
home.
me
I don't.
show the audience here because this is very, very fancy. Right here. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
Lip
Moving.
balm. You got to use it, especially now for the winter. You don't want to have crusty lips, so make sure
And
you use it.
here's a
A wellness candle.
I appreciate you, man. You're so tough. You
Likewise.
are the king in branding.
I'm.
Here's a
What do you call it here? I'm a modern warrior.
you are a modern warrior. Here's the cup. Well, what I can do,
Well, you can give
positive
the
pull.
tequila since you don't drink. You can give the tequila to somebody. You can fill your
Absolutely.
cup with water, and
Absolutely.
then we'll do a virtual
Let me read
shot.
that. Positive poo. I may be a tiny poo, but I believe in you. Go do your shit. That's the first time I read that. Well, let's hit a shot, man.
And then I'm going to bring you back again for episode 2 because I got plenty other questions. I know health, fitness, and
Yeah, for
is very
now.
important to
Let's
everybody, and we
drink
have a lot more questions.
for vibrancy, prosperity, purpose for sure, longevity, and meaningful life, and lots of deeper connections with human beings around us.
Amen. Yes. Cheers.
Yes. Unbelievable. Man, best shot
Good
I've ever
stuff.
had.
I'll definitely see you at the gym for another session. And thank you for joining us. And I can't wait for episode 2 and answering more questions. Thank you very much, and have a blessed day.
I'm glad you had to stop me because when you open up the jar in that conversation, unless you structure it and slow me down, that won't stop. So
You're passionate for what you do, and I love that.
I'm grateful to be doing what I'm doing because it's a very important, meaningful, impactful field to be in.
Yes.
So with all its challenges, I'm blessed.
Amen. Amen.
See you soon,
We'll
George.
see you soon at the gym. Adios. Goodbye.